Actually, all these 7 milestones are very challenging to learn in short intervals of time. So we have to start our journey. We have to start our journey, and one by one we have to actually understand, and then we should excel in gardening. It's not like if you start everything at once, you may fail. If you start everything at once, you may fail. But slowly, step by step, if we start it, starting from microgreens, then comes with medicinal plants, herbs, fruits, flowers, and then vegetables, grains, whatever the plants you wish to grow, slowly one by one. The first thing is we should gain confidence. Confidence actually motivates us like anything. So small successes will actually help us to do more. So you should understand yourself first, your gardening knowledge, your time, your space, then location, solar evaluation, water quality. So if you are okay with these two, then comes the season. So now you have figured out what you want to grow, your mindset, your lifestyle, everything. Then so now we are in June, right? What can be grown in June? So you have to figure that out. Next, soil. Soil is very crucial here. Some of you might be growing in like grow bags with vermicompost and then coco peat and something. But this is a very basic criterion for any garden to flourish properly. If you work on the soil, definitely it's going to take care of everything else. Like most of the soil nowadays is lacking nutrients, and it's not able to actually supplement the plant. It's not able to nurture the plant properly. The reason behind is lack of nutrients in the soil. So how to nurture the soil? That's the question. So today I have 1 hour time, so I'm not able to cover every aspect, but in short I'm just explaining about soil, like we should take care of soil. The next one is seed or sapling or plant which you are going to plant in a soil. There are so many different types of seeds, like open pollinated high bloom varieties, and then hybrid varieties, and then genetically modified varieties. So what you are into? If you are into organic gardening, or if you want to grow everything naturally, prefer open pollinated seed. Open pollinated seed is very natural, and the journey of seed is also very much surprising to us. It travels from different place to one place to another place with the help of wind. Do you know that? How seeds travel is very interesting. Yeah, yes, very interesting. Suppose if you get into the woods, so what happens is you might get the seeds stick into your hands, and then you go here and there walking like this, and then you just rub it off, and the seeds fell on the ground, and then they grow from there. So it's a beautiful journey of a seed. So like that, if you check with open pollinated seed, if you grow open pollinated seed, it will be really grateful, not only for you but also for the universe. Okay. So next one is maintenance. So today's topic is mainly on point number 6 and point number 1. So just to make you understand what I am actually taking you, like where I am taking you, so I have written all these points. So maintenance is very crucial, like how you are going to nurture the plant. What are the steps you are going to take? Nurturing is like raising a baby. Your plants are all your babies, and you are all plant parents. I am very glad to say this. You are all plant parents, and you should nurture your children. I mean the plants. Okay. And then the last one is planning and getting into action. So this is where most people are got stuck actually. So we got information. So information is everywhere right now. So you have Facebook, you have social media is full of information. Google is full of information. Now we have ChatGPT, artificial intelligence. So with that, everything we can easily have access to information. So the only point where we are actually stuck is with action. So that's where my role comes into picture. So I help you with taking action. So if you are struggling with taking action, you can just reach out to me. I can help you out with that also. So today our main prime discussion will be on you and your time, and then maintenance, and some points related to planning and getting into action. So the next thing is flow of energy. So do you have any idea what is flow of energy? You can read this, but we can read it later also. Any idea about what is flow of energy with respect to gardening and plants? It's not like I don't want to take it only from my point of view. Like you can also add some inputs. Flow of energy.
To the plant.
Can you come again?
Showing love to the plant.
Okay.
To the plant.
Okay. Good. Any other points?
From the time you plant the seed, nurture it and see it blossom or bear fruit, the whole procedure.
Okay. Good. Good. So any other points?
There's, the leaves dry out and then become soil, and again it becomes a
Yes. Yes.
new plant.
See, actually, flow of energy is this is actually flow of energy. Energy is transferring from me to you all actually, and from you to me. It is not. It's a cycle.
It's a cycle and it's also contagious. It should
Yes,
be contagious to carry on.
It is
the
continue,
momentum.
and sometimes it is also a spiral. I don't want to confuse you here, but it's also spiral because you cannot rotate in the same circle so many times. If you rotate one cycle, you will gain some knowledge, and with that knowledge, you take another cycle. Okay. So getting here, have you read this sentences anywhere else? Beginning is the end, and end is the beginning. Past, present, and future. They are not consecutive. They are all connected. Have you read it anywhere else?
Yeah, in Upanishads.
Okay. So actually, this is from these sentences are from a Netflix series called Dark. I don't know how many of you have watched it.
Which one?
Dark.
Okay.
Dark. It's a mind-bending series. I loved that series, and somehow it is related to gardening also. So I just mentioned it. Okay. So with respect to gardening, here you can see the connection. They are not consecutive. They are interconnected with each other. Like there is soil and there is seed. So once you just put the seed into the soil, what happens? It gets nurtured by the soil. And then what happens? It grows. First it sprouts. Then it tends to develop some leaves. And then what happens? Then there will be a bud formation. Then it gets into the flowering stage. Then fruiting stage. Parallelly there will be another action going on, photosynthesis, right? It has to prepare her own food. While there is photosynthesis and there is another thing happening, that is called transpiration. Do you know transpiration?
Yeah, the water.
What is transpiration? Like evaporation through plants.
Yeah.
So rain does not come from the sky. It rises from the soil.
Yeah.
Okay? So it rises from the soil through plants. And what happens after rain falls? When there is all these dry leaves falling on the soil, especially in the woods, if you can see, there will be a lot of brown leaves falling on the ground. Brown leaves are full of carbon. So when carbon gets accumulated in the soil, the property of carbon is to hold moisture, hold water. So there is, especially in the hill stations where you can see streams going through. From where they are coming from? They are coming from some spots, water spots. So how they are formed? Like all these brown leaves are full of carbon. They are in majority. So what happens whenever the rain falls from the sky? The soil is able to hold lot of water. So when that's full, water oozes out from the soil to the surface. How we get drinking water? The same way, like if you dig a portion of soil, if you go some 20 feet, 30 feet, 100 feet deep, you get some water, right? So from where we are getting water. So this is a cycle here. There is a connection why I am saying this. This is very much related to urban gardening also. I will, as it unfolds, you will come to know about it. So in the same fashion, if you understand the nature patterns, that is called biomimicry. And if you implement the same thing to your garden, we can do more, we can achieve more. Okay? So it's about growing more food in less space, not just more food. We can grow multiple plants in less space just by understanding the patterns of nature. I will connect that very shortly. But meanwhile, if you do that job, like if you grow more plants in small space, understanding their properties, understanding their shape, understanding the structure, everything. So it will be beneficial for the universe. How? Like this. So usually nowadays what happens is we are into monocultures. Some people are into growing only for the beautification of their home. They'll be growing only some ornamental plants, not anything else. Some people are into wellness. They'll be growing only the medicinal plants, herbal plants. And some people are into growing only vegetables, fruits, and then some greens. If you start growing them collectively, not as a monoculture, as a polyculture, you will be able to achieve more through gardening instead of growing only one category of plants. So, one more thing is, if you have more flowers, it attracts bees and butterflies. So pollination, better pollination, there will be a better chance of pollination, and then your plants will be able to give you more fruits. Got it? So are you following, or is there any other confusion? Because I'm just flowing. I don't know where you are. So if you are following, say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
It's interesting.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah. So then it provides nectar for bees, and that's where honey comes from. Okay, and you can use it for your wellness, for your edible gardening, and then some of them are minerals, and some of them are actually mineral accumulators. Meaning, suppose if you grow beans in your garden, I don't know how many of you know it. If you observe the root zone of bean plant, they will have some root nodules. So the function of those root nodules is they are able to fix atmospheric nitrogen, and then they will be able to fix it, they stabilize it in the soil. So usually plants need nitrogen in more number, right? So beans do that. Not only beans, all legume plants do that job. So not only that, suppose if you take radish, there is one more variety of radish called daikon radish. It is very huge. So it goes deep. Radish grows in the soil, not above the soil or over the surface of the soil. So daikon radish is very big in size. So when it is growing big in size, it also helps other plants by tilling the soil. When the soil becomes loose, other plants, there will be other plants, their roots move freely. When roots move freely, they'll be able to actually get good amount of air. They'll be able to breathe properly. So when roots are breathing properly, plant prospers. Got it? So there are different varieties of plants which help each other. We are going to learn more about it also. And one more thing is they repel and confuse the pests. Suppose if you are growing different multiple varieties of plants together in the same patch or in the same spot, what happens? Usually, suppose if you are growing only brinjal, brinjal has a tendency to release some fragrance. That fragrance, through that fragrance, some pest gets attracted to it. Suppose if you are growing multiple plants, there will be multiple fragrances. So pests get confused, and the chance of eating away your plants will be very much less. I am telling this from long time, but people are yet to achieve to this stage. Okay. This is growing more in less space concept. This is very unique concept of mine. Here there is a small story. I think Neeta Garu and then Amrita Garu and I don't know about one. So yeah. So they might know, they might not know. I don't know. I don't know whether they remember it or not. So there is a story of three sisters. Here you can see there is corn. Can you see the picture?
Yes.
There is corn, there is bean, and then there is squash variety. Observe that picture and tell me how they are helping each other. So it's a small exercise for you.
The corn is the support,
Okay, very good.
and the legume is the nitrogen fixer.
Very good, very good, yes.
Mala, you have the face saver. From your voice, I know you are Mala.
Come on, how about squash variety? Like pumpkin
Yeah.
or any other melon?
Water
Okay, water. In what way?
saves
Conserves water. Very good. Very good.
So much.
Very good. Excellent. Very good. Next.
Ground cover.
Perfect. Ground cover. Live mulch. We call it live mulch.
Yes.
Yes. Then. So last bench students were still chit chatting. Please excuse me. This is just 1 hour program. Yes, please. Any other pointers? So I will tell you. Corn is actually as a support for beans to just climb and then develop into a better plant. And then there is squash variety. This is very important. Like most of them, they come to know about this corn and beans, but squash varieties, what they cover the entire surface of the soil. So there will be no weeds at all. It's called live mulch. And one more functioning of that squash variety is it actually also restricts soil erosion due to rain. If there is too much rain, soil will not get washed away because it's completely covered by that squash variety. And even if there is too much wind, the topsoil will not be able to run away because of the squash variety. So the thing here is you should understand the property, the structure of the plant before figuring out the different varieties of plants you want to grow. Got it? So that is the story of Three Sisters. And there's one more concept called companion planting. So just like you, friends of gardens, I don't know your name of the club. Yeah. So just like you, there are friends and there are enemies. Okay. Even in gardening too. Say for example, if you take radish and beans are very good examples of companion planting. So radish, what it does is it just tills the soil. Beans, it fixes nitrogen in the soil. So radish takes that some part of nitrogen from the beans plant, and then through proper tilling of the soil, the roots of the beans, they'll be able to breathe properly and they'll be able to get into the fruiting, and then it will give you some bumper harvest. Got it? So that's how they are very much useful. You can apply this not just vegetables. You can apply it to ornamental plants, medicinal plants. There are so many. It's very wide. The subject of gardening is it's very huge. You can even I am not able to learn everything. I know only a little bit of it, and then I am sharing it with you. Okay. So that's about the story of Three Sisters.
When you say the beans are winding on the
Yeah.
corn plants, it doesn't damage the corn plant by.
We are there now. As a plant parent, we should ensure that it is not damaging. Some are there to climb, and then they'll actually they'll strangle them. And then some leaves they will not be able to get in contact with sunlight. They will not be able to grow. That is also there. We are there. So in order to get a better harvest, we should ensure that everything goes right. That's a very good question. So if you have any other questions like that, we'll be able to help you out with that. Okay. So next, for a successful combination, growing more in less space plus continuous harvest. So how many of you know pruning here? Pruning plants.
What in the? What in the?
Okay, sure, very good. I will help you. So anybody else? Pruning. Amruta, you should.
You are the boss.
Pruning.
Of course, we do pruning in the garden.
So actually, in vegetables it is different, but I'll be explaining you with herbal plants for now, because it is very easy to explain. Now you understand about growing more in less space, right? If you are not able to understand, you can just let me know. Okay. So what about continuous harvest? Say if you are growing tulsi. I think most of you have tulsi in your backyard or front yard. So what happens? There will be continuous questions to me that people complain about. My tulsi plant is not growing well. Why? Because we need more leaves, and then people, they don't disturb the plant. What happens? It reaches a seed stage. When it reaches the seed stage, there will be more flowers, more seeds. So when it reaches that stage, growth happens. Growth stops. So and then what happens is slowly it becomes weak. Because whenever it gets into the seed stage, even us also, like even you also, like when you I don't think it is right point to say now, because you are all young at heart.
Past that stage.
You have passed that stage.
Yeah. We understand what you mean. You can go ahead. We will not be offended.
Okay. So usually, when you reach the motherhood, like when you carry a baby, at that point of time you become weak, right? You become weak, very weak. So what do you eat? You eat a lot of sweets, like some good sweets, not the ones which are available now. Some good sweets, and then baby shower function will be there, and then you'll be bombarded with so many sweets and then goodies, right? So they are meant for good health and to nurture the baby, right? In the same fashion, when a plant is reaching that seed stage, what happens? The plant tends to become weak, because all the energy is being focused to support the other life that is coming in the next generation. So plant become very weak. So what we should do, it might be even before it reaches the seed stage, I mean the flowering stage, we should just prune the flowers.
Yeah, we do that.
We should prune the flowers. So all the energy will be flowing through different parts of the leaf, and then it nurtures the plant, and you will get more leaf. So if you keep pruning, you will get more leaves. That is with herbal, and with vegetables it is different, and with ornamental plants it is different. So I don't have much time, so I'm just limiting only to medicinal plants. So next time you have to ask.
So you tell us vegetables also.
Vegetables also. Which vegetable you would like to know?
All vegetables. Also.
All vegetables. You can choose one.
About pumpkin, please.
Ventaka, brinjal, common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall I take lady's finger?
She's a kitchen garden queen.
Okay.
She's not in active now.
Even here there are so many clubs here. You know clubs?
Yeah.
No, I'm a killer of all
Okay.
vegetable plants.
Okay.
I cannot grow. I
Sure.
try
And
many times.
we have a real stalwarts here.
Okay. Okay. I'll go with vegetables. So I will choose based on yours. I will choose ladies finger. I think here also there is ladies finger. So there is one thing called succession that you will be going to learn next. So succession is the concept of succession is very much useful for you also if you are in edible gardening. Say for example, how many ladies finger plants will you grow?
10 or 12.
10 or 12. So usually what happens is the beginners what they do, they grow only 2, and by the time it reaches the harvesting stage, they get only some 5 to 10 ladies fingers. What to do with it for a family of 5 or 6? They cannot make. They only have to make salad. So planning is very important. We should figure out the number of people in the family, and then we should figure out the potential of the seed. If it is an open pollinated seed, you can actually approximate the yield also. Okay. So based on that, you should plant the number of seeds. So for 12 plants, how many number of kgs of yield you are going to get with ladies finger? Approximately.
Weekly, from one plant, 5 Ventaka.
Okay, one plant 5. So for 12 plants, it will be around 60. 60. I don't know, roughly I don't know.
No,
how
not that much.
Okay.
Approximately.
So take 40. 40 ladies fingers. I don't know how much, it depends upon the size, everything. How much it weighs. Maybe half kg, as you said, half kg,
Half kg.
something. So weekly you get half kg. Is that sufficient for a week for a family of 4?
Yes.
So there comes the succession. Succession is actually a planning concept. So how many number of plants you should grow for a proper supply of vegetables and goodies for your family. And how you are going to get good yield with this concept is pruning again. So how to do pruning? So initially the base leaves will be very wide with lady's finger. As it grows taller, the base leaves will be very much taller. So from the base of the soil to at least 1 feet, you should prune all the leaves. So that's how you actually supply energy, you channelize energy to other parts where it is needed the most. And one more thing is, lady's finger plant should not be bushy. We only need very few leaves for photosynthesis. We don't need bushy plants. Same thing applies for brinjal also. Got it? If you are growing herbal plants, if it is about tulsi, we don't need too many seeds. It is very simple. The logic is very simple. If you want leaf, prune the seeds and flowers. If you want flowers and seeds, prune leaves. That's it. There ends the matter.
I used to keep on pruning all the leaves to make it.
Okay. So good enough. So that's about succession. So I just given you an example how to do that. If you have any other questions, you can ask me. Let's make it two-way, not one way.
I have tried many times planting
Okay.
all seeds.
Okay.
It grows up to about half a feet.
Hmm.
Then
Okay.
it falls down and dies.
Hmm.
And I have never been able to grow beyond 6 inches.
So whenever
What
we
is that? They said I should not use force for watering.
Hmm.
So I used to water
Okay.
myself. Nothing works.
Okay.
For me, I cannot. Huh?
You didn't talk to them properly.
You have to talk to them.
Neater, Jim, sweetly dog.
You have to talk. You have to talk to your plants.
Plant dies. I don't want to talk to a dead man.
No. Even before that, she is trying to communicate something to you.
Every other
We should have
plant,
some of our ears.
every other plant comes excepting vegetables.
Okay.
How to grow pudina and kothumari?
No, for that we should understand their language. So if we understand the plant's language, then we'll come to know what they're telling to us. So then we'll be able to help them. So here in her case, so what the plant is actually communicating to us is, check your soil. How are you watering it? Whether my seed quality is good enough or not. So these are the things that plant is communicating to you. So it takes time to understand the language of plants. So women are patient enough, so you are patient enough, so we'll definitely learn the
But
language.
you know what? When
Keep
you have
practicing.
small space,
Hmm.
and I spend actually 4 to 5 hours every day in
Okay.
that. And it's so much of effort when I'm getting 5 brinjals and 10 bandaka.
Yes.
I feel it's a waste of my time. So I leave that and go for other plants.
Okay. So here you should understand you and your timing, and then you have to work out on your plan. So planning part will also
I have
help
not
you.
been successful. I would
I will help you out. Because in this structure and setup, we have to move forward. So later on, I'll be available even after this also. So you can call me, you can text me, you can get my number also, and then I'll be happy to help you out. Okay. So any other questions with this?
Your companion plants, you mentioned methi with ladies fingers.
How to grow coriander? Coriander doesn't come out well.
Okay. So coriander, I have a big write-up of coriander. I will send it to you if you want later on. Okay? Yeah.
And pudina, how to keep it permanent, like,
So see, there are different varieties of seeds of coriander that are available. So people tend to actually propagate, like they tend to find challenging when it comes to propagation. So it's very easy with coriander. Actually, you should rub it properly. Then you should sprinkle it. First of all, you should moisten the surface of the soil. You should moist it, and then you should sprinkle the seeds properly, and then cover it with one tissue paper. So when you cover, see, they need warmth. So they need warmth. So you should cover it with a tissue paper. So only then they'll be able to sprout. When they are into sprouting stage, then we can rest assured that it will grow properly. That's with coriander. Okay. So you are asking about companion planting.
Yes, you mentioned about methi with
Fenugreek, ladies finger.
She is our vegetable queen.
Okay.
Any other examples?
Any other examples?
Any other?
Tomato and tulsi. So I have a huge list. I will give it to you later on. So the tomato and tulsi is one. Just now I told you about those three components.
Yeah.
Three. Beans, squash, and then corn. They are very good examples. And one more thing I would like to add. Suppose if you are growing vegetables, grow some herbal varieties next to it. So it enhances the taste of that
I
vegetable.
grow, that's why I was asking, I grow basil with my this thing, so
Yeah.
with ladies
So,
fingers.
knowingly or unknowingly, we are already into companion planting. But
But I
good to
just
know.
wanted to know about the methi because that's more flat and.
Yeah. Methi is actually, the roots are very shallow.
Yes.
So,
It's like a micro.
the soil structure is very much different. So, you should only compare that with, so actually grow that with lady's finger, not anything else. Because if you are into if you're going to add too much sandy soil, they might fall. All the mating might fall because their roots are very much sharp. So is it clear?
The tulsi, you were saying once it comes to seed, then the plant becomes weak. Now suppose you miss the pruning and the seed has already flowered and seed has appeared.
Sorry, sir, can you come again?
The tulsi plant, the basil plant, if you miss that, to prune it and you see the seed and flower already, does it help to give it a hard prune and then will the plant revive, or will it already have become woody by then? Then it doesn't.
No, it's the concept of pruning here is hard pruning is when it becomes a big tree.
Okay.
So usually in our home setup we used to have small plants.
Yeah.
So we can do soft pruning all the time.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that say I missed. Say I was traveling and I come back and I find all of the seeds and flowers have come already. Now is it possible to save the plant or is it
It's possible.
So just cut it below that and.
Yes, it's possible. So it's clear enough? Shall I move to the next part?
And how to grow jasmine flowers?
Jasmine flowers?
Jasmine is remove the leaves at each season.
Yeah, I'll answer you. I'll answer everyone. Can I have your attention, please? So she's asking about how to have more jasmine flowers, or
Yeah, jasmine flowers.
more.
When they sit in the house.
So many of us would like to grow more flowers, right? So especially if you want more flowers, the solution is very simple. Harvest more flowers. If you leave them as it is for beautification or something else,
Yeah.
they tend to get into the seed stage. They might not able to get into the flowering stage. So in our home, we have a beautiful jasmine plant. She knows it. We are unable to bear the amount of yield it gives us every day. So because if we are harvesting, it's a tedious job because we have to pluck each and every flower. She knows it, how hard it is. And then we have to make it into a garland and then put it in puja,
But
right?
how to get that?
Get into that stage. Less number of leaves, that is one aspect. Harvest regularly. This is the mantra of our more harvest. And when it reaches the stage, you should nurture the soil from the base. But for in my case, it is actually different. It gets nurtured naturally, automatically. I have some, I follow a different protocol. So it nurtures naturally, and I actually don't do any composting or even any growth promoter or any growth booster. So it comes naturally, and then and the yield is almost all the months in a year for us, and it is very good. So far, it is very good. The only mantra here for you is whenever it gets into the stage of yield, you should add some compost at the base, less number of leaves, and then harvest regular. That's it.
If you don't harvest, you don't get too many flowers.
See, what happens is, just now I was mentioning about
Yeah.
flow of energy.
That
Flow of
goes
energy.
more for the flowers.
The energy goes to the flowers which are dead there. We should do some deadheading there. So only then it will be flourishing properly. All the energy will be channelized to the ones which are going to get into the flowering. What is that? Flowering time. Yeah, budding stage and then the flowering stage. Okay. So here there is one more concept called stacking. It's a small pot. Can you count how many number of plants there in this one pot?
10.
7 I can see.
No, you can count there in the circle, A, B, C, D.
Okay.
It's very easy. It will be easy.
I have counted 7 including
Live.
Yeah, 6.
Got it? How many?
6.
6. So say how many total number of plants? Total number of plants? 17. So if it is possible, so even it is possible, actually this belongs to, this is not suitable for our country, but some of them are actually possible. It's actually, even I have tried with many number of plants and it's really worked out well. Marigold we can grow, lemongrass we can grow, and then citronella we can grow among them. So if it is possible to grow this many number of plants in that small pot, Is it not possible for us to grow in a big space of soil and then get some good yield out of it? Just observe the structure and property. Lemongrass is some kind of bushy plant, right? So it is okay and it is able to grow along with other plants also. So you can implement. The only thing here is you should understand the structure, property of the soil before figuring out which plants grow well with each other, which can mingle each other. Okay, that's it. So this is not suitable for us, but for understanding sake I have mentioned it. So these are different layers of edible gardening. Even this applies to forest gardening also. So there you can see edible plants which are growing inside the soil. That is the rhizosphere area. Second one is just above the surface of the soil. Okay. Third one is like a bushy one, next level. And the next level is some lemon, pomegranate. They are short varieties. Next one may be mango, and then chiku. The next will be banana, and then coconut. They are very tall. So these are different layers of garden or even forest setup also. The same thing applies. Okay. So based on this, you have to see the structure property. One is one goes into inside the soil. Another one is just above the surface of the soil. So there are different layers. Okay. So these are usually I give examples for all of them. If it comes to root, there are radishes, beetroot, onion, garlic, and then if it comes to leguminous plants, fenugreek, beets, even methi is also a legume. We can grow it properly with lady's finger and it supports the plant. Okay, then fruit plants like brinjal, lady's finger. I am calling them fruits, not vegetables. Tomatoes, melons, squash, God varieties. Then leafy, spinach, amaranth, and then fenugreek. Herb varieties, aloe vera, lemongrass, and then Indian borage, tulsi. Flower plants like marigold, butterfly pea. So these are different examples. And then I have figured out one combination of plants. This is just for an example. You can also try it out by yourself and then see how many different types of combinations you can make. The combination I have given here, there is one flower or herb variety at the center, if you can see. I named this combination called Suryam. This is the name of the combination. You can name one combination and you can give your children name or your name or whatever name you feel like. The reason why I mentioned the Suryam is it gives light. That's why. The central portion, it is flower or herb variety. And you can take another flower, one root, one legume, one fruit, one herb, and then one leaf variety. So leaf variety is actually the greens. Herb variety, you can take any medicinal plants like butterfly pea or even Indian borage or purval. Fruit varieties are actually vegetables. Flower varieties, any flower, marigold, jasmine. I think it is actually we need a pandal for it. So I don't recommend the jasmine there. So root varieties like radishes, beetroot, carrot, and then even this onion, garlic, ginger, turmeric, sweet potato. Yes. So these are all the varieties. So how many of you are interested to learn this? I am just giving you information. If you really want to try this, I will definitely help you out. Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, thank you for raising your hands. I'm quite happy.
How big space is required for this?
One single, like some, for example, 1 feet by 1 feet grow bag is enough for growing all this. All these examples, like I have given, are for 1 feet by 1 feet grow bag measurement size. You can grow all this number of vegetables in a single grow bag. Okay. So I also use soil composition, everything, and they all help each other. So there is no competition. If you don't work out on this combination, suppose if you are going to plant two varieties in a same varieties in a same place. Say for example, 2 ladies in the plants or 4 ladies in the plants in a small grow bag. What happens is they struggle both for space and then sunlight and then nutrients. Just like 2 brothers quarreling for a property. Got it? So I don't recommend growing too many ladies in the plants in the same place.
This is like flat where so many people live.
Yeah.
That is
This is like Friends of Gardening and Daffodils Club. Like we complement each other.
How much of harvest will we get if you plant like this?
The regular harvest, like how much you can expect from growing them alone, even more than that you can expect it from this kind of combination. Because there are so many friends there helping them to grow well, nurture well. So you can expect more compared to the conventional method of growing. It is not an experiment, and this is not an experiment, this is a proven method. I am just sharing
It's in
it.
the same space.
Yes,
How many?
same space, yes. Same space. Got it?
With the same big pot, you can do that.
Yeah,
That's what he
yeah,
said.
yeah. You can do it.
1 foot.
But one thing we should remember is, there is timing. First thing is you should plant radish. Second, the green varieties. Then comes lady's finger. Then comes the beans. So there is a timing, like give 1 week time or 2 weeks time, and then you start doing it. If you don't do that, initially it will be very hard for you, very challenging for you. So I'll be helping you out. Even if you want to try it out, I'll definitely help you out. So any questions on this? So I will give you just 2 minutes time so that you can just digest, and then you can ask me questions.
Can you tell us something about pests and all these things?
Pests, like what specifically?
Like for maintenance, right now in Chennai we have these huge slums.
Okay.
That is a problem. And now because of the butterfly season, lot of caterpillars.
Okay.
They're eating up all the lemon plants and that.
You would like to know about the-
Hibiscus, mealy bug,
Ah.
that is a perennial problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like that small things.
What you have mentioned an exact term called perennial problem. Yes, it is the same. Yeah. So any other questions? So based on your questions, I will just consolidate everything and then give
A little bit about
solutions.
composting also.
Composting.
How
Composting.
do we have Miyawaki forest? Do we have? If you have
Yeah.
small.
Miyawaki forest actually it's in a forest setup. Some people confuse that with this also. This is different completely because this is in a grow bag, that is in a different space.
So supposing you have some space, you want to create a forest.
Yeah.
That, I mean, how do you go about?
It's about choosing the fastest growing trees. Say for example, if you want to grow a mini forest very fast, you can choose agati, which is called what is that? Suspania, yeah, Suspania grandiflora, Olifera grandiflora. I don't remember the technical name. Moringa olifera is this one, the moringa tree. So you have to choose that type of that varieties of trees, and then you have to plant it. So if you plant it now, within 4 months you will be able to see a tree of this height. And if you leave it as it is for some 6 months, then it will goes very long, or very tall and very long. So it will be like a mini forest. So you have to select that varieties of trees. So and if you start doing that, within no time you will be able to see a forest there. So that's Miyawaki. In short, in brief.
I make my own manure.
You make me very good, very good. I
Yeah, I've
appreciate it.
taken those rings,
Yeah.
cement rings. They are up. You know, all the kitchen garbage I put.
Okay.
And the garden garbage. And we have a 4 fields.
Okay.
And
I remember I did one session for Amrita Garu, Nita Garu, like the name of the session is more than composting. I went for some 4 or 5 days, I remember. So it will take some time. 1 hour, we have given me 1 hour, so I have to hurry up.
Without soil, I've seen, in Myanmar, on a lake,
Yeah, yeah.
they grow beans
Yeah.
and tomatoes together with water.
Okay, yes.
And they have soil, without soil.
Hydroponic, right?
Hydroponic, but I don't like, because I feel soil is mother, nurtures everyone, and soil has a lot of microbes working every time. So there are a lot of hormone like enzymes getting in the soil, and they'll be able to support a plant's growth, plant's life. But without soil, I don't imagine it's possible. I'm not saying it is impossible. It is possible, but for me, soil is the mother.
They
I
have a
don't.
good harvest. I've seen them having a good harvest.
Yeah.
Terrain, they have lesser plants.
See, the one thing is, it might give you some good harvest, that is possible, but you should compare the nutritional quality, nutritional constitutions in the same plant. It might give you good yield. See, very recently I have shared one article. The amount of nutrients present in a vegetable today, if you compare that with the vegetables in 1980s or 1990s, it is actually different. Actually, they are not the same, because we have actually corrupted the soil. very badly, and we should work on focusing on the soil, nurturing the soil, enriching the soil. Then we'll be getting some good quality foods, tasty food for the next generation, even for the plant. Maybe we are lucky or maybe we are not lucky, but at least next generation will be able to get the good foods. Okay. Any other questions apart from pest? 2 minutes to think.
Talk about simple way of using composting for all these plants.
Simple way of using compost.
Making compost at home.
Making compost. It's very easy. You have to figure out what are greens and what are browns. You mix them both. That's it. Greens are nothing but all the vegetable peels. Browns are nothing but all the dry leaves. And then these cardboard pieces, unbleached versions.
Newspaper? No, newspaper we should not use.
Yeah, wooden chips for that matter. They are called browns and these are called greens. You mix in equal proportions. That's it. That's composting for you. But if you have to go deep, different.
How long does it take to?
It depends upon what kind of waste you are actually mixing together. And ideally, in general terms, I'm saying, it takes around 40 to 60 days to get good quality of compost. Okay. That's in short about composting. It's actually, if you go deep, there is so many things with composting. So with respect to pest, I would like to address your question. Why pest attacks a plant? Why? So usually we'll be focusing on the surface level problems, but the problem is very deep at the core, at the base. So I have given you a hint. So now you should tell me why the pest is attacking the plant.
Because it's unhealthy.
Can you come again?
Because it's unhealthy.
Very good, very good. So why it's unhealthy?
Nutrients is not there. Nutrients.
Very good. Soil is not able to nurture the plant. That is one thing. And the second thing, the plant is weak, very much weak. So all the weak plants, they tend to release a fragrance, different type of fragrance. I told you in the beginning also. So when they release a fragrance, even if you see some old people, they also release a sort of fragrance because they are getting weak. I'm not offending anyone but I'm just saying it. So they release a fragrance. In the same fashion, these plants, when they become weak, they also tend to release some sort of fragrance. So it attracts the pest to come near them. Eat us. That is the message it is actually giving them. Slowly, the plant tends to become weak, prone to pest attack, and then dies eventually. This is what happens. So what to do? How to nurture the plant in this case? It's not just about only sprinkling these growth promoters or pest repellents. It starts from the soil. Nurture the soil from the base. The first thing is start paying attention to the plant. Prune the plant. All the diseased leaves, decayed leaves, deficient of nutrients, all these leaves, 3 Ds, diseased, decayed and deficient. All these leaves you have to prune. That is the first thing. Second thing is add some compost. Then comes these pest repellents. Then you should add pest repellent. Got it? So if you that's how we have to nurture a plant. Same thing applies for this mealybugs with hibiscus. That's a perennial problem. When you say perennial problem, it actually I'm very much hurt about it.
Panchagavya we use.
See, Panchagam it is there, but what about the quality? Everything is available. Neem oil, see, most of them they are all adulterated versions. You can make your own stuff. Everything is available in your kitchen. See, how many of you eat rasam on a daily basis? Right? You can take the leftover residues of rasam, just use it as a pest repellent. That's enough, because it has very good amounts of garlic in it, oil in it, pepper in it. So it is very good pest repellent. Why do you use it?
How do you use it?
Take 10 ml of that leftover rasam, 10 ml, the leftover residue. Just take 10 ml, add 1 liter of water, and then just give them a shower.
What about the soil? You can pour into the soil.
No, not pour. You just use it as a foliar spray.
Spray.
There. So what happens is, rasam has some sort of oil in it. So when you just sprinkle it as a foliar spray, all the leaves get coated with oil. It makes slippery for the pest. and they are also very much bitter in taste. So when they just lick it like this, the leaf, they don't like the taste, so they just go out.
So mealybugs will go with that?
For mealybugs, first of all, you should remove all of them with a brush, or you can wear a gloves and then you can remove all of
But we
them.
cannot, so much of this will be there. With the
See, for hibiscus, you can do soft pruning throughout the year. If the problem is very high, you just prune the branch.
Okay.
Prune the branch and throw it forever. That is the only solution. If the problem is under control, you can just brush it off. Brush it off and then do what I said just now. Okay.
How often do you like?
2 minutes. Can you come again?
How often do you
The one which is attacked with the pest
Rasam.
until the problem goes away.
No, every day. Once a week.
Once a week. Once a week, that is okay. Until the problem goes away. Do pest repellent only when it is needed, not all the time. Okay. We take pills only when we need them. Not we don't take paracetamol all the time. It hurts us, right? Same fashion.
What about slugs?
Slugs. There is one violent practice I can suggest you. I don't know whether you are comfortable with it or not. You can just crush some eggshells and then sprinkle at the base, because their skin is very much kind of a mucous membrane, so it won't like it. It won't like to go in that place. It just gets repelled off.
What is that? Eggshell used for what?
For slugs, snails,
Snails.
what they do is they eat tender leaves, tender shoots, and that affects the growth of the plant. So if you do this, it will be definitely beneficial.
For everybody.
Yeah. So any other questions? 2 minutes is already over. So here
So what sort of services do you do?
I do coaching, I do consultation for farms, orchards, and even for home gardening. I call myself as a composting master chef because I'm good at making compost. I'm proud to say that. I'm confident enough to say that. And I also do some workshops, online workshops, offline workshops. So that's what I do. Apart from this, do you have a farm at our
So
place?
supposing I want to do terrace gardening,
Yeah.
I can contact you and you will
Yeah.
just tell us what I
Yes. You can attend a workshop or else you can do that. So we can spoke about it later, we can speak about it later. Then may I have your attention please? Yeah. So we are back here. I have given you some tips on maintenance, like how you can club some different number of plants which have some sort of property and structure that can help each of them to grow properly. That is with maintenance part. So now I am getting into some parts of planning and then you on your time. So are you open to it? So first thing is, what kind of garden you dream for? Are you dreaming a vegetable garden? Or would like to have a beautiful lawn in front of your home? Or everything mixed is a very good idea.
He has a lot of space.
Okay. First, you should observe and understand your location. So you should see like whether the space is able to accommodate whatever you wish to grow. You just make a note. See, all these questions are for you to.
These are all people who already have a garden.
Okay.
So based on that,
No, even if they have a garden also, we can do more.
read this.
Reorganize.
We can reorganize. We can do more. So you can just think about it. Think about it once again. What can be what best we can do for the space we have. So earlier you might have only a lawn. Now we can also add few more things, like one beautiful flowering plant in between. So you can also add one herbal plant if you wish to grow. So that thing, and just you can observe and understand your location. It all depends upon what you want to grow there. Sometimes people, they might want to grow something, they have land, but they don't know what can be grown in that kind of soil. They leave it as it is. They leave it vacant as a vacant plot or vacant land. So if you are able to understand what can be grown in that specific plot, then you will be able to grow more, right? What do you say? So first thing is you make a list. You make a list of what you want to grow. That is one. Then you see the location. You see your space. Whether this space will be able to accommodate whatever you wanted to grow or not. Like evaluation of the sunlight, quality of water. Okay. So these are the two things. Then your time. How much time you will be able to spend in gardening. Even 15 minutes is also enough. If you do it in an organized manner, if you do it by following a plan. I have tools, simple tools. I have given to like Amrita Garu, Nida Garu also. One of them is called Eisenhower matrix. I don't know whether you are there or not when I have given you that. Eisenhower matrix, it's actually a time management tool. So it's about prioritizing things. How to have a time for gardening. So based on that you can decide how much time you have for gardening. Then you can come back again to this and then you can just figure out what is actually possible, what we can grow. So these are one. And what outcomes do you expect from your garden, and what do you wish to grow, and you should also understand how to make best use of the outcome. Say for example, if you have grown more number of ladies fingers, you will not be able to eat ladies finger every day. You tend to get bored. And what you do the next week, you might be throwing away, or you might be sharing it with others, or if others might also don't like it, then it goes to compost. Right? So first of all, you should have this understanding. What is your weekly consumption pattern? What do you eat on a weekly basis? Prepare a plan, like you have to write it down. Or suppose if you would like to have some ornamental plants. So what do you do with the more number of flowers? If you want only flowering plants, what are you going to do with it? I told you to harvest more to get more number of flowers, right? So what are you going to do with more number of flowers? Are you going to offer it to God? Or are you going to keep it for yourself? You should decide it. If it is not of much use, then what are you going to do with it? It is a waste, right? Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of everything.
I do not call that. I like to see flowers on the plants.
For beautification.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do after that?
It falls like I'm nurturing.
Yes.
It gives me flower, beautiful to look at, and then
I am going to the next step. So you are satisfied with the amount of number of flowers you have seen. So I told you to harvest more flowers to get more number of flowers. So what are you going to do with the flowers, those flowers?
I never harvest.
You don't harvest. You keep it as it is.
Yeah, when it dries out, when it was about to dry off, I pluck it and put it in the same pot.
Same pot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Like
fine.
mulching.
Like mulching. Good. So you are actually resupplementing the plant with the same thing. That's good. But for some people, since I cannot talk specifically, I can only talk generally. The thing is, many people they harvest it, they don't make best use of it. That's what I'm trying to make a point here. Okay. So I have given an example of lady's finger and flowering plants. There are more. And say for example, if you have grown lemongrass, which is actually a herbal plant, there will be a lot of lemongrass plants I have seen in many of my, clients' cases or whatever. So what they do is, they grow a lot of lemongrass, but they don't use it at all. Lemongrass is meant for repelling mosquitoes, not just repelling mosquitoes, but also to make a wonderful herbal tea. It's very nice to taste, actually, but people don't do it. If you harvest it, you can also add it as a mulch material to other plants. You can use it as a mulch material. But it grows bushy, and over time it becomes weak, and then it's bitter. That's what happened. So whatever you wish to grow, have a proper idea about what you are expecting from the plant. If we don't have that idea, then it goes into vain. That's what I'm trying to say. So the first thing is you should see the location of yours, and then you have to check your time, and then you have to make a list of what you want to grow, how you are going to consume it. Then look at